would encourage you and would also, minister to your spirit. And so this morning, I started off with the fellas, and we had Rich Tolbert Jr. with Never Be Defeated. We had Todd Galbraith with Tired. We had Jabari Johnson with Fixed Fight. And so then I took a break from the men. We had a commercial break, and then we came back, and I played some women for you and allowed them to encourage you. The Lord Song by Miranda Curtis, Praise Through by Kiara Shear, It's in the Room by Shayna Wilson Williams, Do It Anyway by Tasha Cobbs, and then You Carried Me by Jacqueline Carr. Then we followed that up with Jonathan McReynolds with Abel, and then Only One Night, though, by Ty Tribbett. So that's been the playlist for you on today. And if you wanted to go back and listen to any of the songs that I have shared on your personal time, any of the songs I've played today, if you wanted to just, add them onto your list, that's where they are. That's how you can find them. And so I want to encourage you all to make sure you go and check those out. Now, let me also, while I have you, say good morning to you. Good morning to all those who are watching live on Instagram. Thank you to those of you who are watching live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or who will view this later on LinkedIn. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Now, I want us to go to the Word of God, and I want to encourage you. Because one thing that I realize, one thing that I recognize, and that I've come to understand is that if you can just keep the faith. We just finished listening to the song by Ty Tribbett. All right, just finished listening to the song by Ty Tribbett. And by the way, before I go into that, if anybody wants to go back and view any of these words of encouragement, or be a part of them, you can join me live on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere as James W. Chavis. All right, James W. Chavis, or I Am Encouraged Ministries. I Am Encouraged TV, rather, on YouTube. All right, so if you go on YouTube, I Am Encouraged TV, Encouragement Ministries on Facebook, and I Am Encouraged Radio on Facebook, as well as KPPM 93.5 FM. I'm live on all those platforms and places right now, and so you can join me there. But I want to encourage you again. We just finished listening to Ty Tribbett, Only One Night, though. And here's the thing. Although the song says Only One Night, though, I want to take a moment just to encourage you, because one thing that I have come to recognize and that I've realized is that sometimes our night lasts literally, he's talking figuratively, but literally sometimes it lasts more than one night. Have you ever been in a state of kind of just like a depression, almost a state where you've just, it comes in waves, or it comes in cycles. It comes, it hits you, and then it leaves you. It all of that. Have you ever been in that position, in that place? I remember there was several years ago, not too many years ago, but a couple years ago, I was sitting at home, and I was watching television, and on the television they had there was I can't remember if it was a commercial. Yes, it was a commercial. I remember now. And in this commercial, it was highlighting, couples who were telling, or individuals who were telling their family that they were pregnant, right? And how they were telling their family that they were pregnant for the first time. And as I was watching this, I just kind of, I started to get sad, and I really literally began to cry. And I said, Lord, when will it be my turn? Lord, when will it be my turn? When will I have my day, my opportunity? And I remember being so down, so sad, and it didn't seem as though it was going to work. It didn't seem as though it was going to happen. My wife and I, at the time, had been married for several years, at least about 7-8 years, maybe even 7, 8, 9 years. I don't know. And somewhere within there, like I said, we had never experience the joy of being pregnant and having that baby and you know what I'm saying, being able to see that. And so I remember getting down and just like, Lord, when will it be my turn to have that joy? When, right? And so in the midst of it, here's what happened, and I thank God for it. Here it is now. My wife and I on Saturday celebrated 11 years of marriage, right? And we were able to celebrate with our daughter, who is, 6 weeks old now. And every day when I look back at her, I'm reminded of that day sitting there in my living room. And I said, Lord, I said, when, Lord? I said, how long? I said, Lord, do you even see? Do you care? Lord, when will it be my turn? And Lord, here it is. You have done it for me. This morning, as I picked her up and I held her before I left for work, I said, man, Lord, thank you. Thank you for hearing my prayer. Thank you for hearing my cry. Here it is. I have, a little girl who is as much a part of me, or who is a part of me and a part of her mother. And I'm just like, man, Lord, I thank you that you did it for me. I thank you that you did it for me. But can I tell you something? It happened suddenly. It happened suddenly. We thought it wouldn't be able to happen. We went and saw doctors and this, that, and the other. And they were like, well, as far as we can tell, everything is good. Everything is right. And I'm going to share the full story, the full process of what happened and how my wife got to the point of having our daughter. But I thank God that he never left us. He never forgot about us. And somebody out there, you've been sad, you've been burdened down, you've been, in your night season. But it's, listen, let me tell you, it is okay if you cry. It's okay if you have to call out on the Lord. I'm reminded, David, while he was yet in the cave and he was hiding, from Saul and all that, he called out to the Lord. If you go and read through the book of Psalms, David says, how long, O Lord? How long, O Lord, will those, who seek me dead, right? How long will they prosper? How long will they be in this position over me? Friends, I want to encourage you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read this for you. This is Psalms 13. David says this, starting at verse number 1. Psalms 13, verse 1. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? See, it's okay for you to get in that position every now and then. But what I want to encourage you is, don't stay there. I could have wallowed. I could have just, been in despair. But here it is. God finally, listen, it happens suddenly. It happens almost without warning. It happens and you just, you know what I mean? But you have to keep the faith. If after that day, sitting there in my living room, in the recliner, if I had sat there and just said, you know what? I see everybody else getting blessed. I see everybody else with their baby announcements and all of that, but it's not happening for me. I give up. I quit. I'm done. I'm just not, I could have never been in this position that I'm in now. I could never feel the joy that I feel now. But now I thank God that I didn't quit, that I didn't give up, that I didn't lose faith. And I want to encourage everybody out there today. I don't know what your night season is. I don't know what it is that you may be going through or dealing with on today. But let me just take a moment to encourage you. If you don't quit, if you will just keep the faith, you will see the goodness of God. David said, Psalms 34:19, I would have fainted. I would have given up. I would have lost heart, lest I believe that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. If we keep reading Psalms 13, right? So David said all his how longs. Then he said in verse number 3, consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him. Lest those who trouble me rejoice when I am moved. But what does he say in verse number 5? But I have trusted in your mercy. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. I'm telling you, if you can just hold on, if you can just trust God, keep the faith, I'm telling you, God will deal bountifully with you. God will what does that mean, to deal bountifully? That means he's going to come through for you. How does the scripture say it? He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask, think, or imagine, right? So that means that when he comes through for you, he's going to blow your mind. He's going to just do it in such a way that, everything that you need is going to be right there in line. It's going to work out for you. You're not going to have to, try to figure it out. God says, I'm going to work it out. So I want to encourage you. I don't know what your situation may be, what your night season may look like, what it is you may be dealing with in your night season. But I want to encourage you. Don't give up. Don't give in. Keep the faith, right? No, keep the faith and trust God in the midst of it all. In the midst of it all, I want to encourage you to keep the faith. If I don't say anything else, let me encourage you to keep the faith. I want to play this song for you. It is by Pastor Charles Jenkins, right? And the Fellowship Chicago Choir. And it simply says, keep the faith, right here on I Am Encouraged Radio on 93.5 KPPM.
Standing at a crossroad, what do you do?